A couple interesting things about this backhand of Boris Becker. You'll see this full shoulder rotation. If you were playing against him there at that point, you would be able to see his back, if he the name written on his back, if he had it there indeed. Now you'll see here his racket head at this point has come from a high to low position, so that this is going to be a slice backhand. You'll see it come through. Now just take a look at this also. Do you see how this right foot is off the ground and how he is just not moving forward as he hits it? And as much as that's true, it's a problem for him. You'll see him come through now, slice underneath and then up. But he was obviously not in great position, and Rod Laver has talked about his footwork tonight not being the best. You saw an illustration of it there. Of course, he's not totally in control of his own destiny when you're playing against a guy like Lendl, #1 player in the world, who hits the ball as hard as he does. It's not that easy to get yourself in the position that you want to be always.
15 love.
15 love. Right, I've counted about 5 times. Boris has decided to stay back at the baseline. He's only won about 1.
Yeah, Lendl is really floating very nicely, just like a cat tonight. He's all over the place. His footwork's terrific. And Boris did have a few attempts then. He could have come in, but I think he's afraid of Lendl's returns now.
And the ace for Ivan Lendl, his second.
Matter of fact, I think you're exactly right about that, Rocket. If you're wondering why he's not coming into the net more often, and I'm certainly with you in wondering that the same thing, it may be that he's just afraid of the passing shots of Lendl.
Oof. Just ripped that backhand.
Well, Becker knew that he was in trouble. After the return of serve, he mishit it. It was an easy shot for Lendl to put away. Decided to come in anyway, kind of a desperation move.
2 games apiece. Why is he afraid? When he's come in, Cliff, he's been successful.
That's the point.
I don't understand that.
No, I'm saying that I think that he is afraid. Why he's afraid, I can't answer that. I think at a certain time he's going to throw caution to the winds and come in regardless, because he's got to realize that he's going to have to do that. See, that kind of thing will really get you down. It's easy to look at it from the aggressive standpoint, but you've got to hand it to Lendl. When Becker has come in, take a look at what happens sometimes to him, and that's got to affect the way that you feel about coming into the net. You see how he had to cover so much territory just to get to that forehand and still hooked it cross court. Not easy to do, believe me.
Wide. Second serve.
Well, he's starting to come in a little more now. Up to this point, he has come in 27 times only. And we're, let's see, 10, 11, 14 games into it. So that's about 1.5 points a game, very approximately, that he's come into the net. That's not enough.
No. .30-15. Cliff, is he the type of player where the rest of his game is built off the serve? If the serve is going good, then everything else falls into place for him?
That's true of almost everybody. Becker less so than most, because he's an all-round player.
122 miles per hour on that last serve.
He wasn't sure whether to leave it. It might have been going wide. Take a look at it if you can here on this replay. You be the judge, because you'll never know, because he hit the ball in the air. But watch this right here. I think that as he was making a swing at it, he said, "What now, doggone it, should I hit this thing? It may be going wide." Didn't make the correct swing at the ball. Didn't win the point either way. And it could be a big one. This is 30 all.
And for Boris Becker, ace number 6.
I have to look at it from Becker's standpoint now, my friends, because if he loses a serve break here at any time, he will be a set down, a serve breakdown. Lendl hasn't looked like losing serve. If he doesn't in the next couple of games, that'll be 2 sets to Lendl, and I don't think Becker can come back from that. He knows it.
He's just talking to himself. Can't understand why, when he did get to the net and had it covered. The mind works in strange ways in this game, doesn't it, Cliff?
You know, you put a lot of pressure on yourself as you look at Tiriac. You can see he's worried. I talked to him just before they started out there. He said to me, "Who do you think's going to win?" I said, "I'm picking Becker by a very, very short margin." I said, "What about you?" He said, "I think he'll win." And he wasn't a coach talking. That was, you know, the honest feeling of Tiriac, because he will say very negative things about his man if he thinks he deserves them.
Deuce.
Advantage Becker.
And advantage to Boris Becker. Two games apiece. Second set. It's wide. And somebody up in the stands will get a souvenir. Tennis ball?
No, they'll have to, if the ball boys are on their toes, they'll get it back.
Deuce.
And deuce.
You know, you have to have the same number of balls out there all the time, and the players have the right to ask them to get another ball back in there if...
well, that one went so far up into the seats, I'm sure somebody grabbed it and ran out. There's Tony Roach, the white jacket, Gunnar Bosch in the blue jacket. And the advantage back to Boris Becker.
Little help from the tape. Almost had 2 swings at that ball back. Lendl made the return, and he was making his swing. Then it hit the tape, so he had to restart his swing, Becker, but he had plenty of time. He doesn't miss him overhead.
Boris Becker leads 3 games to 2. Second set against Ivan Lendl. We'll return to Madison Square Garden in New York in a moment.